Why, hello everyone, how are you doing this fine day? Hope you're enjoying your week. Welcome to another survival challenge, in particular, a Warhammer 40k survival challenge. Well, kinda. Not gonna lie, this video's focus is gonna be way more towards the boomer shooters because that's what I feel like talking about today. And the Space Marines are more so gonna be used as like a measuring tool of like how strong are the boomer shooters based on how many of the Space Marines they can take out. Okay, so a little bit of backstory, a little bit of Rouga lore. If you don't want to listen to it, you know, click on the timestamps and skip this section. But basically, if you would have asked me 10 years ago if I liked shooters, my answer would have been no. But if you would have asked me 20 years ago if I liked shooters, my answer would have been fucking yes. What people call boomer shooters now is just what I referred to and everyone else referred to as shooters 20 years ago. This was the shit that I liked. I liked Doom, Wolfenstein, Serious Sam, Duke Nukem, Unreal Tournament. That was my shit. They were some of my favorite games. And then somewhere along the line in like the early 2000s, military shooters got really popular and they were totally fucking different than what we had played before, and I didn't like them at all. I just didn't care for them. Like, everyone's mind blew the fuck up when Modern Warfare, like the first Modern Warfare came out. I played a little bit, I was like, it's alright. And then everyone decided to make every single game after that just Modern Warfare again. And they did that for like 10 or 15 years. That entire section of time, the only shooters you could actually play were like military shooters or, I don't know, Haze? The Darkness? There were some in there that I liked. Like, I like Killzone 1 and 2 were pretty good. It's not like it was just this big-ass festering pit of nothing to play. It just wasn't, you know, wasn't as good. So I've sort of been out of the shooting community conversation for like a solid 20 years. And only recently have I realized that boomer shooters have come back with a fucking vengeance, dude. In the past like 5 years, there's been so many solid ones. So in like one day, I went out and I purchased like 4 or 5 of them. You know, Ion Fury, Proteus, Turbo Overkill, Ultrakill, a bunch more. And there's so many more that I want to play. Forgive me, Father, Reaver, Sulaco, they're just, oh my god. So many good games to play now. Where have I been? So if you start seeing a bunch of boomer shooter characters and villains and things showing up from boomer shooters in my videos over the course of next week, that's why. It's because I'm just like filling up my body and my veins with just pure injection of boomer shooter goodness. Anyway, story time's over. If you're new to my channel and you haven't skipped this section, I mean, good on you. Awesome. I don't know why, but thank you. The basic gist of this is simple. We're going to take one boomer shooter from these different boomer shooter franchises. We're going to throw them in an arena with 1,000 Space Marines and see how many of them he can blow through. That wasn't worded good. Should also know that this is not a Space Marine chapter versus the boomer shooter guys. It's just 1,000 Space Marines. There's not going to be any psychers or dreadnoughts or anything like that in the video. Because, like I said, this video isn't going to focus that much on Warhammer. It's going to focus more on the boomer stuff. I just needed to give them people to fight against. I don't really feel like dealing with psychers and shit right now. If it ends up being too one-sided to the boomer shooter side, maybe I'll do like another one later on where I actually add psychers and dreadnoughts or possibly even a totally different faction. I'll, you know, really go all out. But for now, I'm just going to do like 1,000 random bullshit Space Marines. Not all the extra shit. Don't be too scared if you're a Warhammer fan. Not all of them are going to do very well. But we're just going to see. We're going to make comparisons. We're going to talk about it. That's what this video is about. That is what we are here to do today. But I wasted enough of your time. Let's get started. So the first most important thing we need to do is we need to talk about the Space Marines. What can the Space Marines do? What are they capable of? What's their stats? And to be clear to the Warhammer fans who are here, this is not like a super in-depth lore dive of all the shit that every single Space Marine can do. Like, I'm not going to go into the different factions and how the different factions are different from each other. The fact of the matter is that Warhammer is an extremely large universe, and any individual Space Marine can have so many different layouts to what equipment they're carrying. You might have some that are more cyber heavy, some that are more melee heavy, some might have a scanner on them, some might not. Some of them have whole different philosophies on how they do things based on what chapter they're in. There's a lot of different stuff to go over. In this video, I'm just going to go over the basics. How fast are they? How strong are they? List a couple of weapons that they have. It's really cool. If you don't know anything about Warhammer, hopefully you learn a little bit about Warhammer. And if you do know a lot about Warhammer, go down in the comments and tell people things that I didn't say in this video. I'm going to have conversations. You can bring some people onto your side. It could be fun. To give you the basic gist of a Space Marine, they are essentially 7 to 9 foot tall, genetically enhanced, ideologically possessed super soldiers who can lift between 2 and 5 tons, run at around 60 miles per hour at top speed, have many different organs within their body. So like they might have like multiple hearts. So if you destroy 1 or 2 hearts, they'll be okay because they have more hearts, they have more lungs. They basically have a backup for every single organ inside their body, which is very, very useful for staying alive. They're also capable of doing a bunch of other cool shit. Like, for instance, they can think about running running somewhere and then start running there and then go to sleep, and their body will still be running and doing the thing that they wanted it to do while they are mentally resting. Their bodies are very strange and can do a lot of really weird shit. Like, they have a third or fourth or fifth lung that allows them to breathe underwater as well for a limited amount of time. Physically, they're fucking just abominations. There's a lot of wacky shit that they can do. But that wacky shit is exaggerated even further when you look at all of the tech and shit they have. They have these power armors that increase their strength even more, giving them a maximum of being able to lift around 9 tons, as well as improving things like their reaction time. Some Space Marines have even been shown being able to deflect bullets out of the air from a very, very close range of it being fired. I'm not gonna say point blank, but it's pretty fucking close. Like a couple of feet. Is that point blank? I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's fast. This power armor is not only extremely durable, as most weapons just straight up can't fire through it, although it is said that small arms fire can get through the armor at close range. Now, a lot of people have argued this with me, saying oh, in this one thing, a pistol couldn't get through. Small arms fire doesn't mean pistol. I don't know where people are getting this. Small arms fire just means a handheld portable one-man weapon. So a 50 caliber rifle would be considered small arms fire. I think anything under 12.7 millimeters would be considered small arms. Basically, if you need 2 people to fire it, or it needs to be mounted in some way, then it's no longer considered small arms fire. But if you could pick it up, lift it, and carry it around, put it down and fire it, that's considered small arms. And it is stated at multiple points in the lore that small arms can break through the armor at close range. There has been at least a dozen or 2 times in the lore where guardsmen with handheld weapons were able to take down and kill Space Marines. It's happened enough times that I don't really understand why people make the argument that basically no guns other than the absolute most powerful rail cannons can get through this armor. That's very clearly not the case. On top of the armor being incredibly durable from physical attacks, it also has an energy shield that surrounds it that specifically defends it against energy attacks that would normally basically just not give a shit that the fact that this shit's durable. Like superheated weapons or electric weapons or just anything that hits with energy, this energy shield is meant to disperse said energy and not allow it to get to the armor at all. The armor is also capable of small levels of self-healing, as it will repair certain smaller wounds that happen inside the armor while the Space Marine is fighting. In terms of melee weapons, they have chain swords, which are basically more or less what it sounds like. It's a chainsaw sword that has a chainsaw blade that is only 1 molecule thick, meaning that it's basically as sharp as a blade could possibly be, which, believe it or not, is super useful when it comes to cutting things. You also have a significant number of melee weapons, like the power sword, that specifically creates an energy field around the blade that weakens the molecular bonds of anything it hits, that helps it to more easily cut through all of the fucking crazy ass shit that you have to cut through the armor of a tank or some bullshit. Now, it should be noted a lot of people treat this as basically like Raiden's sword from Metal Gear Solid Revengeance, where it basically just negates the durability of shit. That is not the case. It weakens the molecular bonds. We have seen multiple cases of them trying to cut through really, really thick shit and still struggling to do so. If something's durable enough, they still have to be super fucking strong to actually push the sword through that armor. There is a limit to it. It weakens it. It doesn't just negate its durability. Very important. Their guns are also extremely powerful, as no Space Marine's gun can be fired by a normal person. Trying to fire it would just fucking shatter their arms and probably go sending them through a wall. And of these guns, they have quite a few. Their main gun that you'll see most often is a bolter, or some variation of, like a heavy bolter, which is basically this giant gyrojet round that's fired out like a goddamn tiny rocket. Automatic. It's like an automatic weapon, and it has a little explosive on it, and it fucking hits and boom. Some people say these things are about the size of a Coke can. That's not true. The heavy bolter, which fires the largest round of all the bolters, is 1 caliber, meaning 1 inch. The regular bolter being .75 caliber, which, you guessed it, 75% of the width of an inch. Not Coke cans. I don't know why I keep seeing that. But they are very, very powerful. It's basically like shooting an automatic tiny grenade launcher at people constantly. Very powerful weapon. You have the melter rifle that isn't really a rifle. It's more so like a category of weapons called melter weapons that you would think is fire or lava or some kind of flame by looking at it, but it's not. It fires some kind of energy type that I'm not aware of that breaks shit down on a subatomic level that allows things to melt at a faster rate than any level of heat would be able to do. So like, even if you have shit that's like the heat of the fucking sun or even more, and you shot at something, because of the way science works, that thing would only be able to melt to a certain speed. There's a certain point where the level of heat just straight up doesn't matter anymore. That shit can't melt any faster than it's melting. The melta ignores that by actually breaking down the molecules, so you can melt shit basically instantly. It's pretty cool. Actually, now that I think about it, it would probably be better to break these down by categories rather than individual weapons. Like, even with the bolt guns, I only talked about the bolter and the heavy bolter, but there's like a whole fucking category of bolter weapons of many different types. There's sniper rifle based bolters and pistol based bolters and so many different bolters. There's melta-guns, like I said, whole category. There's plasma weapons, there's laser weapons, there's grab weapons, which, you've guessed it, controls gravity. You got your rocket based weapons, grenade based weapons, there's railgun weapons, all of which are considered categories where you have like 20 or 30 or so whatever different types of guns within each of those categories that all do different shit. The one thing that's clear about all of them is that they're so big and so exaggeratedly overpowered that only the Space Marines can fire them. Normal humans would kill themselves firing these guns. Like, there are las guns that guardsmen can use. The las guns that the Space Marines use cannot be used by guards. The guardsmen are just like regular people. They can't use the same las guns that the Space Marines use. They're specifically made for them, so only they can fire them. So you get a basic gist of things that you gotta know about Space Marines. If not, just go down below. I'm sure people will fill you in more. I want to get to the boomer shooters. Don't fucking hate on me. First up on the chopping block, we have Duke Nukem from, you know what? It's from fucking Duke Nukem. You get it. If you never played Duke Nukem, the basic gist is that the entire game world and the characters and all that are all designed to be satires of like 80s action films. It doesn't quite go far enough to be considered a parody, but it's definitely a satire. Duke Nukem is specifically designed to be sort of like a frat bro slash douche kind of guy who's like fused together. He makes a lot of one-liners that are purposefully cheesy, because, you know, in the 80s they always did these one-liners that now looking back on them were cheesy, but at the time they were really cool. Duke Nukem takes that to an extreme degree and it's like, no, they're cheesier than those original liners were. His entire personality can essentially be summed up by one-liners from 80s films. And the plot lines that Duke goes through are equally as fucking ridiculous. Like, the plot lines of a lot of 80s action films was about some big buff-ass super dude that needed to like save some chick, right? Damsel in distress whole situation. Well, there's literally a plot line in one of the Duke Nukem games where an alien race comes to Earth and kidnaps all of Earth's women so that they can use them as essentially breeding farms to make more of their own species. Duke refers to all these women as the babes. The aliens came down and they kidnapped all the babes. And you don't fuck with the babes because then Duke Nukem's coming for you. So whereas in 80s action films they need to save the damsel in distress, in a Duke Nukem game he needs to save all of the damsels that could possibly be in distress. Like I said, just an extreme exaggeration of what you would see in an 80s film. In terms of how powerful Duke Nukem is, it's arguable if he's even really superhuman. He's definitely super strong and super fast and like impressive, but we have legit numbers on all the things Duke Nukem can do. It is specifically stated in the games that Duke can bench 600 pounds. And while that is a lot and very few humans on Earth can do that, it's not something that's considered superhuman. Some people can do that. There have been people who have benched more than that. He has relatively realistic levels of strength. Essentially, in the real world, Duke Nukem would be competing with people in strongman competition. In terms of speed, it's kind of hard to get a grasp on exactly how fast he's going, but he ain't that fast. I've heard some people argue that he's fast enough to outrun his own rockets, but that's only in the older games and only because the games were very heavily inspired by Doom, where you can outrun your own rockets. In the newer games, he very clearly isn't that fast, and they don't build him up to be that fast. He's just kind of a normal dude. Like, he's not dodging rockets in the new games. He's not dodging bullets or doing anything like that. It's relatively realistic levels of fucking speed. So he's essentially an extremely strong and extremely fast normal person. His guns as well are actually very realistic. When I say realistic, I don't mean they're like fake guns that just fire like normal guns. I mean they're literally normal guns. In one of the games, his pistol is directly stated to be a Colt 45. In many of the games, he is just straight up shown using a Desert Eagle, and he can go around and shoot all the different aliens and kill them with all of these normal guns. If you go home and grab any gun you have, you can go fucking to war with the aliens in the Duke Nukem universe. So it is actually kind of shocking just how weak Duke Nukem is compared to a lot of other characters in boomer shooters. And so far, it sounds like it's just gonna be a complete fucking ass whooping. This dude can't take on 1,000 Space Marines. He can't take on one Space Marine. What is the fucking point of even having him in this video? Well, he's in this video because he's a boomer shooter character, and somebody's gotta lose. But also, he does have a few more things, specifically when he starts to get his hands on the alien technology, that shit becomes a little more interesting, because the alien technology is actually pretty good. Like, he has a shrink ray in this game. He can point a ray at you, he presses it, you fucking shrink, and he can just step on you and kill you. And the shrinkage, as far as I'm aware, is fucking permanent. So he's just fucking tiny now. You win. He has another weapon that shoots some kind of generic energy. I think it's the AT laser, I think. I don't know. Anyway, the energy slash laser that it shoots is like a weird ghost thing. Like, the laser is capable of passing through solid matter and objects objects, including energy force fields and shit that blocks other things, and only affects flesh that it comes into contact with. He's shooting like a ghost laser, basically. This is very useful because this means that the Space Marine's armor is completely fucking useless. It'll phase right through it. While the Space Marine armor does have an energy shield that is specifically meant to defend against energy, there is no energy-based projectile that just phases through solid matter that exists in Warhammer. So there's no evidence that their shielding would be able to defend against something like that. Duke also acquires the technology to turn invisible. He can create illusions of himself while he turns invisible, so people will shoot at the wrong thing. He can acquire super speed that increases his speed by 10, which actually would make him run faster than your average Space Marine. And overall, his alien tech is really going to be the thing that you're going to look at here when talking about him. But is that enough to overcome 1,000 Space Marines? No. Not even close. All in all, if you take Duke Nukem and you put him up against a Space Marine, he is capable of killing him, but only if you literally give him all of the knowledge he needs to know exactly what this Space Marine is capable of. If you throw him in an arena with a single Space Marine, the Space Marine is fast enough and has strong enough weapons to immediately shoot and kill him. Now, if you told Duke Nukem all of the information he needs to know, most of his guns won't work. He's faster than you. He's gonna pull his gun out and shoot you immediately and you'll be dead. And like gave him everything that he needed to know, then he will know, okay, second the fight starts, invisibility, force field. Let's use that real quick. Now let's pull out something that will work, like the shrink ray or the AT laser that'll go through solid objects, and then maybe he will win. But that's giving Duke way too much leeway and nowhere near enough leeway to the Space Marine. Like, you would have to purposely try and argue it to be lopsided specifically to help Duke Nukem out, which, you know, I don't really do. So no, while Duke Nukem is capable of defeating a single Space Marine, it's not very likely that it'll happen. And against 1,000 Space Marines, he's gonna fucking die. It's like, it's not even, like, are you serious? That's a stupid question. Why did you even ask that question? Next up on the list, we have Johnny Turbo from Turbo Overkill. Now we're getting to characters that will actually kind of start to fuck the Space Marines up a little bit. Johnny Turbo is described in Turbo Overkill as a murder machine. Johnny has all kinds of crazy shit, completely immune to any form of hacking or biological manipulation, can breathe both in space and underwater, runs easily over 60 miles per hour, but also has chainsaws for legs that he can then use as like wheels basically to send himself hurling at significantly faster than his normal running speed, easily 80 to 90 miles per hour, durable enough to get hit by bullets, rockets, all sorts of explosions, rail cannons, electricity, fire, acid. He even purposely throws himself in explosions. At one point in the story mode, not gameplay, he can also do it, but in the story mode, he does a legitimate rocket jump where he jumps off a skyscraper, fires a rocket, lands on the rocket as it explodes, and then it blows him up to another building, and that doesn't damage him at all. He oftentimes will fight Sin mechs, which are clearly based on dreadnoughts from Warhammer 40k, as they are massive war mechs that have a driver basically like forcefully mutated into the mech itself. That sounds a fuck ton like a dreadnought to me, man. And he could fist fight these bitches. These things are like 15, 20 feet tall. He has turbo time, which allows him to perceive time at significantly slower rates, which vastly increases his already insanely fast reflexes. He can wipe out whole rooms of dudes without them really even be able to move like more than a couple inches. Very, very fast. There's also tech chips in the game, which are kind of like cheat codes, but they are canon within the game, as tech chips are talked about and used in the game during the story. And tech chips allow you to do all kinds of crazy shit, like give you unlimited ammo, make shots from all your guns explode, have all explosion damage do 3 times more damage to all of your enemies, make you twice as fast as you already are, putting you at damn near 200 miles per hour normally, not including when you're using turbo time. There's one tech chip called Insta-Gib, which when you shoot a dude, it gives him instantly. If you don't know what that is, it means it blows him the fuck up. Doesn't matter what shot. You can take out a pistol and shoot the final boss of the game. Boom, they blow up, they're dead. Game's over. The man has 4 chainsaw limbs, a sniper rifle that allows him to teleport in the body of his enemies and then explode out of them, a massive ion cannon that puts a target on somebody and then has a fucking orbital space laser fire an ion beam from space, completely wrecking everybody's shit immediately. Instant death. Johnny Turbo's fucking awesome. Turbo Overkill's awesome. Go play the game. So how many Space Marines can Johnny Turbo kill? Quite a few. Now I know some people are going to say that all the speed shit that I just talked about isn't really that impressive when you compare it to a Space Marine, because Space Marines have been able to deflect bullets as they come out of the chamber or within a couple feet of them coming out of the chamber within the Warhammer universe, which should make them at least Sonic, if not supersonic, levels of reaction speed, which is a lot faster than any character in Turbo Overkill, which is a lot faster than any character in Turbo Overkill, making Johnny Turbo's whole turbo time thing not really that useful. And this is the part where I kind of have to get into the guns of Warhammer. A lot of people have this weird belief that the guns of Warhammer are faster than normal guns and use both a combustion and a gyrojet system. And that's not really true. I mean, technically it's true, but I am always corrected when I say that the guns use a gyrojet system, because they say, well, no, it uses both. It uses a combustion and a gyrojet system. Just because something has a combustion feature within it does not make it a combustion system. It's a gyrojet system. The combustion system within a bolter gun is not the thing that has it propel forward. It's the gyro. Okay, you know what? Let me explain, okay? In the real world, we have combustion guns and we have gyrojet guns. There's more, but those are the two we're going to go with because that's the only two that matters for this conversation. Combustion is better in literally every conceivable way. I've had some arguments in my comments saying that gyrojets can go faster than combustion. Yeah, if you have a small caliber combustion shot and a large caliber gyrojet shot that's like amped to fucking insane degrees, sure, it can go faster. But the absolute world record fastest gyrojet does not compare to even semi-high caliber combustion guns. They're not even close. Go look it up. They go like a fraction of the speed. Gyrojets aren't as fast. If we're talking about real life guns, there actually is no reason to have a bullet that is both combustion and gyrojet. There's no reason for it to exist. Combustion is better in every single way, and if you were to add a gyrojet onto the back of a combustion shot, you would just make the bullet so much heavier that it would affect the trajectory and speed of the bullet anyway, and you would need the gyrojet just to bring it to the normal speed that the combustion would do by itself. Gyrojet bullets are fucking heavy. It has to have an entire fucking propulsion system built into the bullet. There's no reason to actually do it. So why does Warhammer do it? For a very specific reason. In real life, if you fire a gyrojet round, it creates a lot of back pressure in the barrel. In real life, we don't use gyrojet rounds in guns that have a high RPM being rounds per minute, because you would end up building up so much pressure at such a rate within that gun that you're gonna damage the gun and possibly it'll fucking blow up in your hands. It's not good. It's like overfilling a balloon. Gyrojet rounds are only used in guns that fire single shots individually every time you pull the trigger, not when you pull the trigger and it goes brrrr, you know, all that. Yeah, we don't use gyrojet for that. It's gonna fuck up the gun. You can't use gyrojet in an automatic weapon. Bolters are generally automatic weapons. In order to have a gun that uses a gyrojet round that fires that fast, they need a small combustion to happen so that it can move the bullet outside of the barrel, and then the gyrojet can activate outside of the barrel so it doesn't build up that pressure. This allows them to continuously shoot without damaging their guns and it having to fucking blow up in their hand. So you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, well then why don't they just go with combustion, since combustion's just better? Just have the whole thing be combustion. That's simple, because they're explosive rounds. In real life, you cannot have combustion explosive rounds being fired. We actually do use that. You can get a 50 cal sniper round that's an explosive round and it's going to be fired via propellant, smokeless powder. It's not going to have an ignition, because if it did have an ignition, it would blow the fucking bullet up. Now, to be fair, you can have a small combustion on the bullet, but it has to be so small that there's no chance it can blow that bullet up, which means it won't be coming out of the chamber nearly fast enough to do any real damage or go very far. The reason why Warhammer has this overly complicated system is because they're basically firing grenades out of a machine gun, which we don't do in real life. If you look at real life, our grenades and our explosive rounds, we fire them individually. We don't unload on the side of fucking streets with just a bunch of explosive rounds. We don't do it. It's not necessary, and we don't really have the technology, or maybe we do, but it's like, it's not used. I'm sure someone at some point designed it, but it's not a thing. Point is that people who say that it's a combustion system, it's a gyrojet system, and that makes it super, super fast and crazy, they're not understanding exactly why the system is used and how it's used. The rounds within a bolter have a small combustion. They get it outside of the barrel, and then once it's outside of the barrel, gyrojet activates, and it brings it the rest of the way. Now you might say, well, hey Rouga, in Warhammer lore it specifically states that bolter rounds fly at hypersonic speeds. That is considerably faster than any real world gyrojet round, so comparing them is idiotic. It doesn't make any sense. That's true. They do travel at hypersonic speeds in it, but I think that people aren't thinking about how propelled ammunition works. Like for instance, in the real world, if you were to fire a propelled round that's max speed is 1,250 feet per second, which is actually relatively normal max speed for a gyrojet gyrojet round to have. It doesn't come out of the barrel at 1250 feet per second. That's just not how any propelled or rocket system in existence works. It comes out significantly slower. Do you know how much slower? A gyrojet round that's max speed is 1250 feet per second comes out of the barrel at about 12 to 30 feet per second. And it takes about 65 feet in order for it to hit its max speed of 1250 feet per second. That means that coming out of the barrel, it goes 1/100th of the speed of its max speed. That means if we go back to the Warhammer universe and look at that feat where the guy deflected the bullet at point blank range, being shot out of a bolter, and that bolter shot is supposed to go at hypersonic speeds. Do you know what 1/100th of hypersonic speed is? 38 miles per hour. Doesn't seem all that impressive that he was able to deflect it now, does it? Now, you can argue that because there's a bit of a combustion there, that maybe it comes out a little bit faster than that, but let's say it was 10 times faster. Okay, that's 380 feet per second. That's still a speed level that literally every character on this list would be able to react to. That's slow as shit to these guys. The feat isn't that impressive. What argument are you gonna use that the rocket-propelled ammunition of the bolter gun doesn't work like any real existing or theoretical rocket in the history of ever? It just immediately comes out of the barrel at hypersonic speeds and just stays that way the whole time. No propelled system in existence works that way. That's not how physics works. And nowhere in the entirety of Warhammer does it say that these fucking things break the laws of physics. That's just not how it works. This feat is misunderstood because people don't understand how propelled systems and guns work. Because instead of shooting guns and getting pussy, they were, I don't know, gardening? What do gays do? Don't get me wrong, Games Workshop does a lot of fuck shit. But when it comes to trying to at least sort of describe their weapons as working realistically within their world, they do a pretty good job at it. This system could work. And because of that, Johnny Turbo is significantly faster than a Space Marine in both reaction times and just general speeds. All of his weapons should be able to hurt a Space Marine. He fires a fucking rail cannon and will oftentimes fight giant metal armored mechs, tanks, all kinds of different crazy shit. He fights a giant AI god in this game. It's a huge floating eyeball made out of like armored, like energy and armor and shit, and he's just fucking firing at it, and his guns are strong as shit. They're very, very strong guns. He's not gonna have a trouble fighting against a Space Marine. He's considerably faster than a Space Marine. We don't know if he's stronger than a Space Marine because he doesn't have any like real strength feats, but we do see that he is physically capable of damaging with his chainsaw hands, because he has chainsaw hands, every single enemy in the game, including giant war mechs. So there really shouldn't be any issue with him damaging a Space Marine. The only real issue I see here is the sheer number that he has to fight. But honestly, even saying that, 1,000 is not more than we've seen him fight in his own game. I mean, there's like a trophy in the game for killing like 1,000. You get it by level 3 or 4. Like, you get it really early. You fight large groups of people in this game. Like, just absolutely massive groups of mechanical monstrosities and giant fucking beast, like, creature metal things all the time. The whole game. Constantly. His weapons are stronger, faster. I mean, I don't really see... He could lose. Like, it's possible for him to lose, I guess. Like, if he gets hit with a Melta, that's probably going to do some really bad shit to him. But he's so fast, I'm not 100% sure that's going to happen. The only way the Space Marines are going to win is if they just overcome him with numbers and strategize around his far superior mobility, speed, and arsenal. It's possible, but I think, I mean, bare minimum, this dude's killing several hundred Space Marines. Because he does it in his own series all the time. And a lot of the people he fights are arguably just as strong, if not stronger, than Space Marines. So I'm not really, yeah, like he's gonna be all right. He kills an AI god, and that AI god is so intelligent that she starts being able to see into other timelines. Like, honestly, it's just not fair. It's not fair. Shit, we're only on 2, and the fucking Space Marines already lost. This ain't gonna go well. Next up on the list, we have Sam Sirius Stone from the Serious Sam series. That's a lot of S's. That was weird. And I've already made several videos on this character where I explain in detail all the crazy shit that he can do. Go check out one of those videos if you want more details. But basically, Serious Sam ain't no fucking joke. The dude can lift over 400,000 pounds casually and just run around with it like it's no fucking problem. He's fast enough to run 32 miles per hour, again, casually, while holding massive amounts of of weight and all these different weapons, that's not like his absolute fastest running speed where he puts all his guns down and he just fucking hauls his ass as fast as he can. He just casually strafes at 32 miles an hour, and he has a speed buff that doubles it, making it 64 miles per hour. The 60 miles per hour the Space Marines can run is their top speed. They can't go faster than that. That's like them hauling ass in one direction, no turns. While it is true that most of the time he travels half that speed, I think the casual nature of which he does it could mean that he could possibly go 60, if not over that, even without the speed boost if he really wanted to like go full on speed. His guns are considerably more powerful than the Space Marines, not even close. I've talked about this as well. He has a cannon in this game. This isn't his strongest weapon. Just to be clear, this is not his strongest weapon. It's just one of his weapons. But he has an alien cannon that was designed off of a Revolutionary War cannon, but like way more powerful. It is a cannon that fires a 24-inch cannonball that is made out of damn near pure uranium. It's mostly uranium with a thin shell over the top to protect people against the actual uranium, like radiation, which it is joked about in the game. That little thin thing doesn't actually work, and people still die of fucking cancer from the uranium of the cannonballs all the time. I've already done the math on all this in a previous video, but basically one of these cannonballs are 24 inches made out of solid uranium, which is one of the most dense and heaviest naturally occurring substances on Earth, would be around 5,000 pounds each, and the cannons hold 40 of them in both cannons, and they fire out with the force of a fucking shotgun blast, and we know they fire out the force of a shotgun blast because the travel speed of the projectiles is the same as when he fires the shotgun. If you do the math on how much force this is, a 5,000 pound projectile coming at you at the speed of a shotgun blast, you end up getting around 130 pounds of TNT of force. Just to give you an idea of how much force that is, that's 4 times more powerful than the absolute strongest tank shell being fired that exists on Earth right now. So no question at all, Serious Sam's weapons will be able to fuck up a Space Marine easily. That's not even his strongest weapon. He has a mini nuke launcher, a black hole gun, the Sirius bomb. You know what the Sirius bomb is? It's a handheld bomb that he activates, and then I guess it's not even really a bomb. It essentially destroys all matter in the area. It's like a flash, and then all matter, everyone who is within sight all around you, all the matter of their body just disappears. They're gone. The only person it doesn't affect is Sam himself, and it's explained in the lore that's because he has a quantum energy field around him that protects him from attacks, including his own weapons. So is there even a fucking argument to be made that Sam can't win here? Like, what's the argument? Any weapon used by any of the Space Marines, even their strongest shit, would likely not even hurt Sam. He's had a whole temple dropped on top of his head, and he was fine. This dude, this magical bitch with like telekinesis, picked up pieces of a temple and they just dropped it, and he was like, I'm good, I'm fine. Well, who cares? It doesn't matter. He's been hit in the face with rockets and explosives. He's been shot at with fucking UFOs that have giant cannons that erase matter and shit. There's this thing called a magic cannon, which pulls magic from all across space-time and then infuses it inside the gun and then shoots it out. And this barely does anything to him. It's not really clear as to like what it is. Like, is this a really damaging thing? I don't know. How powerful is magic in the Serious Sam universe? I don't know. But he acquires that cannon as well as gets hit by that cannon. That is the basic bitch enemy type's main weapon, is a fucking cannon that pulls magic from the fucking universe and space-time. It's kind of wild. I don't think there's any question here that Sam is going to be able to fuck up basically all the Space Marines with even his basic guns. Like, just give him the cannons and let him go ham, and he's just going to fucking slaughter everybody. There's not a chance in hell that one of them cannon shots isn't going to go right through the chest of a Space Marine. And if he uses the Sirius bomb, it's damn near a one-shot kill for everyone, especially if it's in an arena. Like, it'd be better if it was in like not an arena, maybe if it was in like some kind of big building with a ton of different rooms, because then it wouldn't affect everyone in the entire building. It would just affect people in the room that he's in. But if you just put him in an open arena, he can literally kill all 1,000 of them in like a split second with this bomb. There's no evidence they would survive something but like having all of their fucking matter deleted. Sam is a totally different level of, why did I do this? Why did I do this fucking list? Like, this doesn't even make any sense. You're getting fucked. You know, I think the reason why I made this list is because people always say that Space Marines are the most powerful soldiers, most beastly ass dudes. If you Google it and put it on Google, who's the strongest, you know, fictional soldier of all time, it will always say Space Marines, because that's the belief, that Space Marines are the strongest. So now, you motherfuckers got me taking these dudes and throwing them against people who are actually probably one of the strongest in all of, you know, fiction, especially gaming at least. And they just don't compete because you guys have just built them up to this invincible level that they're just not at. You can even take the absolute most powerful, legendary asshole Space Marines, like the ones that have names and shit, and they, like, what are they gonna do to Sam, who can erase their matter? Like, it's just, I didn't want to put Doom Guy in this video because I knew everyone would just say BFG, it's over. But I mean, like, like, there are other boomer shooter characters that have weapons that are just as impressive as that. I would say the Serious Bomb is up there with the BFG in terms of just raw, like, unstoppable power. Only difference is the Serious Bomb only gets one shot. So if he does use a Serious Bomb and he kills them all, but he, like, misses a couple, then he still has to deal with those couple. But, I mean, he can. He's gonna kill them. Come on, guys. This fucking video's trash. Last but certainly not least, we have V1 from Ultrakill. I actually think that V1 and Sam are kind of interchangeable here, because I would actually argue that a lot of the stuff that Sam has is more impressive than V1, specifically his arsenal. I think overall he has a much better arsenal. When you look at the arsenal V1 has, there's some good stuff, like his a black hole gun. You know, that's always a good thing, but Sam has that too. But the vast majority of his stuff is pretty, you know, not normal. They're stronger than normal, but it's just, I don't know. I just feel like Sam's got, like, he has a nail gun, right? V1. He's got a nail gun that's it's a rail gun that fires nails, but they're not nails. They're like massive fucking spikes, and it's a minigun. It's like a minigun, a rail gun, and a spike thrower all into one. Like, that's not normal. That's a very powerful gun, and that's just one gun he has. It's not like the most powerful or anything, but does it really compete with like the fucking mini nuke thrower or the cannon that Sam has? I don't think so. Probably not. His guns aren't as good. But physically, he's probably better than Sam. In terms of speed, he's fast enough to fire his own gun and then punch the bullet as it leaves the barrel of his gun. That increases the speed and force of the bullets. He's actually capable of punching any projectile in the game that comes at him, not just his own. I would say punching his own as it comes out the gun is probably more impressive than punching someone else who's shooting at you. But point is, bullets that come out of guns are so slow to him that he could just punch them back at the person who shot at him. I've never seen Sam do anything that fast. In terms of strength, he's also probably very close, if not more than, I don't know, it's really iffy. Basically, he fights this dude named Minos, and Minos is this giant guy who's like taller than skyscrapers, and Minos punches you with his massive fist. Just his arm is easily tens of thousands of tons, and he punches you really fast, really hard, and you could punch his fist and deflect it back to him. That's like several 100,000 tons of force that you're punching back, bare minimum. Now, is punching several hundred tons coming at you back to its original location better than Sam casually lifting up 400,000 pounds and just like running around with it like he's not even holding it? That's clearly not either of their maximum strength levels, so who knows? I'd say it's comparable. But V also has a lot of extra benefits, like anytime he fucking kills people and they spill blood or he parries some or does that, he actually heals. A lot of people say that he can heal from blood, but he heals even when he destroys like robots who don't have blood. So it seems like he just heals when he fucking hurts people or fucks people up. It doesn't really even seem to necessarily be tied to blood in any way. It's just tied to like the concept of violence itself. As long as he's being violent, he will just continuously heal. Not that that's really necessary, because I don't see any of the Space Marines guns actually doing any damage to V. What? Fuck, this video's so fucked, dude. Why did I do this? I honestly didn't think it would be this one-sided when I started making it. I thought maybe I should do it with Warframe or something, but then I thought it would be like, no, because they're too fast. They would just basically speed blitz all the other characters, and that wouldn't be cool. I didn't want it to be too one-sided, but now I'm realizing that I made it too one-sided in the other direction. I didn't mean to. Why did I put the Space Marines here? They're getting fucked up. Like, they don't even stand, like, they can't even put up a fight. I could put 10,000 Space Marines or 100,000 Space Marines, and both Sam and V1 would kill both of them. I honestly thought when I started making this that the Space Marines would beat Duke Nukem and do really, like, Johnny would do well, but they would eventually overcome Johnny. But then I was like, well, no, because he would literally see most of their projectiles moving in slow motion, except for their laser projectiles, and even then, they would very likely not be able to hit him because of how fast and mobile he is, and his weapons are more powerful, and he's straight up killed 2 gods in his series. It's just like, yeah, okay. My bad. Fucked up the video. I apologize. I'm still gonna throw boomer people in more videos, but I need to find a better universe that's closer in, you know, to like be able to fucking do it. Cause this is bad. This is not good. This is a bad one. Chalk this up as bad video from Rouga. As rare as that happens, I'm aware. But if you did happen to find yourself enjoying this video, click on one of these other 4 videos that are popping on the screen right now, and it'll take you to another video that it's gonna be better than this video. Yeah, it's for sure. Doesn't matter which of the 4. It's not. They're usually not like this, you know. Whatever. Always remember, y'all be safe out there. You hear?